So let's continue. So what is blue humanities? As I told you, it's a field from environmental humanities and ocean studies, and it makes us aware of the fact that these oceans and water bodies have played a very significant role in building our human civilization. And also, when you talk about blue humanities, we have to take a look at the role of blue humanities in art, culture, human interactions, etc., from the perspective of water. And this blue humanities is definitely challenges land-centered view or the green-centered view. Now our focus is on water, how to save water, and how to protect the water and preserve the water bodies for our future growth and development. As you know, 71% of Earth is water, and we can guess the role the water plays in regulating the climate and regulating our livelihood. Of course, water is responsible for all the factors, all the positive factors. It contributes to our food, it contributes to our livelihood, and also it plays and it has played a very significant role in transportation. In addition to this, we know that certain part of certain religion or certain communities, they worship water and water bodies, and also these water bodies are an essential part of their rituals. So from this point itself we can understand how important it is to protect water for future generations. The challenges the water bodies face today is obviously known to all of us, and these problems the water bodies face adversely affect our climate too. The rise of sea level and the destruction of coral reef or the loss of biodiversity, they are not insignificant problems. They are very significant, and we need to discuss about all these problems, and we have to find a solution. Only then the water bodies can be protected for our sustainable development. So, what is the role of blue humanities in sustainable development? That's what we are going to have a final reflection on. Most of us who have joined here are B.Ed students or future teachers. So it's your responsibility to make the young minds aware of the importance of water bodies. How is it possible? You can narrate stories to them. You can talk to them about the importance of water, how it has helped us in building our civilization, how it has helped us in building our identities, our livelihood, our transportation, etc. Through stories and other activities, and awareness can be made in young minds. Also, we have to encourage ecological ethics and responsibility, what we should do, how it should be done. All this should be made aware of in the minds of young students, and they should be taught how to preserve our coastal heritage. And also, we have to take steps to encourage marine tourism. In future also, these bodies have to be protected. It of course it provides scope for research, and this research will definitely help to develop a deep understanding of the role of oceans in shaping our history, culture, and identity. It also encourages new forms of human activism. Through blue humanities, it makes the humanity fight against the adverse human actions or the actions that adversely affect the ocean bodies or the water bodies. So blue humanities definitely play a role in understanding ocean and their place in human life. Let's take a look at our look at our movie Chemmin, one of the oldest movies. We can take a look at the central character Palani and other characters. If you remember the movie, you might understand that there is symbolic representation of faith in the movie. The movie is centered on themes like love, fate, and revenge, but everything is centered on the sea. It is the sea that is responsible for happiness and sadness in the lives of the character. It is the source of livelihood. And in this movie, we have seen the beauty as well as the ferocity of the sea. But more than all this, what catches our attention is the responsible events or the fate. In the movie, we have seen Palani, the protagonist, who is swallowed by the whirlpool at the sea. It was not just a death, And the main attention there was on the myth and culture. Why did a fisherman die at sea when his wife was waiting for him in the shore? So there is a significant myth and culture related to sea, and the whole movie is anchored on this myth. So from this movie itself, we understand to what extent our culture, our beliefs are centered on ocean bodies. It's not just a matter of culture, or it's not just a matter of myth. There is something more. We talk about ocean. We talk about the culture of different places. Actually, it is the water body, or the ocean, that is responsible for building the culture. We know that oceans were responsible for our trade, exploration, import, export, etc. And through this, what happened was an exchange of culture. The culture what we have today is of course an hybrid culture, and this hybrid culture came to us as a result of our interaction with different parts of the world and different parts of an ocean. So ocean is responsible for our life as well as livelihood. We require it in our future too. So Blue Humanity tells us that there are so many injustices that our world of oceans face. We have to fight against this injustice. We know about colonial maritime violence and endangered ecosystem. Something should be done. Otherwise, we can only talk about them in future. We will not be able to experience this. Those oceans, they represent mystery and depth, the uncertainties of life, the warnings, all these are given to us by ocean. So it is not something that is to be pushed to the margin. It has to be brought to the front. It has to be brought to the center, because if we have an understanding, if we have an holistic understanding of nature and ocean, we will be able to interpret the symbols that we find in ocean. Ecological meanings and philosophical meanings find greater depth if we have more oceanic consciousness. So ocean literature or blue humanities, it definitely enriches our literary interpretation. Also, it develops our sense of ethical sense, and also it develops a sense of beauty. So water bodies, they are not just resources. They are not resources to be stored for future use. We have to understand the fact that they are cultural and ecological spaces, and we have to maintain ethical relationship with these water bodies. Our future is inseparable from water bodies. So sustainability is possible through cultural, ethical, and ecological responsibility towards the blue world. With this, I conclude. Thank you all for listening.
Hello, friends. Dear friends, in the next session, we have Dr. Raghu Ramdas sir from Mitra Nigedan, an exceptional resource person, an exceptional human being. So he is continuing the work of Mitra Nigedan in an exceptional manner, contributing for the development of the society. And Mitra Nigedan is doing plenty of works in sustainability, continuously doing meaningful works in sustainability. And today's resource person is the director of Mitra Nigedan, Raghu Ramdas sir. He would enlighten us on the initiatives of Mitra Nigedan, the initiatives that are being carried forward by Mitra Nigedan, changing the lives of many villagers. Thank you, sir. Warm welcome, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jojo John. Thank you for inviting me for this international conclave on sustainability. This is a very important topic today. Unfortunately, I have not made any PowerPoint. I just present some of the activities which Mitra Nigetan has done in relation to sustainability. The topic you have given to me is on sustainability as a global movement. partnership for people, planet, and prosperity. In fact, this is a very broad topic. I will touch into this, but primarily I would like to make a presentation on these institutional best practices in sustainability, especially the experiences of Mitra Niketan in promoting sustainability through different technologies, specifically with reference to renewable energy adoption and also other carbon-less solutions in different problems and issues. Of course, as you have given the topic, the sustainability is a massive global movement today across governments, corporates, and grassroots organizations worldwide. That means sustainability is no longer the responsibility of any individual nations or any individuals, but it is a shared global responsibility. That is the first and foremost thing. Of course, we know about climate change, biodiversity loss, poverty, pollution, inequality. All these issues go beyond national borders. Of course, if we take climate change alone, this has a very serious impact on the life and livelihood of the people all over the world. If we take the case of Kerala alone, we know that how it affects the farms, agriculture farmers and their productivity, because they are all facing extreme climate variations. Whether it is rain, then it is flood. Similarly, when there is no rain, there is drought. So both are affecting the farming activities, output, and our state as such is depending on neighboring states for our basic consuming materials, including the vegetables, fruits, as well as flowers. So the impact of climate change is not only faced by the people in the Kerala or in India, it's all over the world. But primarily the sufferers are mostly from the developing countries or underdeveloped countries, people in the underdeveloped countries. While the developed nations, they produce or they emit more carbon, that leads to climate change. But people suffering in the developing countries and underdeveloped countries, where we have very less finance to adapt or mitigate, use different technologies to face these challenges, to address these challenges. Of course, the future of humanity depends on collective action and global solidarity. We alone cannot do any of these activities. In this context, it is relevant. This is also reflected in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals announced by the United Nations. So this is actually a common goal framework for action for all of us, not only for one institution or one nation. It's a responsibility of all the nations in the world, and this is to be achieved by 2030. So this also aims to strengthen global partnerships to achieve all these 17 goals. Partnership enhance knowledge sharing, as you know, financing, technology transfer, and capacity building. So similarly, we always used to talk about thinking globally and acting locally. This is very relevant here in the case of sustainability, because these global goals are to be achieved through local initiatives only, because United Nations announced these 17 different goals and the different governments are promoting, but all this action should take place at the local level. So it's very important, relevant to this thinking of global thinking as well as local action. So the local action, in relation to climate change, if you take that as an example, local communities has to identify their own problems, to identify their needs and develop sustainable solutions to address these common issues. For example, some of the common activities which we found adopted by different nations include different communities all over the world, including community forestry, organic farming or natural farming, similarly promotion of renewable energy, water conservation related activities, waste management. So there are different such activities which are very common all over the world, adopted by the different nations through local governments and also through different communities and NGOs, but depends on the financing. So all the countries are not in a position to achieve this sustainable development goal by 2030, though they have fixed a target. It is also important to protect our environment, specifically the natural resources we use to consume. We have to sustain those natural resources for future generation. At the same time, it is also important to ensure the well-being as well as the economic growth of the people without affecting the environment. That is the biggest challenge. All those development initiatives taken by the government, there is always problems because it affects the environment. So there should be a balance between the development, infrastructure development, as well as protecting the environment, though it is a big challenge. So we need to protect our ecosystem. We are all responsible for that. We need to conserve the biodiversity because the biodiversity loss is very high, especially during these climate variations. Even if we take the case of the medicinal plants, the plenty of medicinal plants available in our forest, especially in Western Ghats and all. Today, the many of the rare plants are not available. They are all disappearing. So there is always a need to conserve such biodiversity. Of course, there are different institutions taking care of it. We have in Kerala state, there is a biodiversity board. In every panchayat, they have developed a biodiversity register as part of conserving this biodiversity available in our area, especially agro biodiversity. But still, there is a lot of work to do to conserve our resources. Similarly, the most important thing is to reduce the carbon emission. Carbon emission is the main reason for the climate change. So the carbon emission, we are all responsible to control the carbon emission. Similarly, to promote responsible resource use, that is also important. The depletion in our forest or depletion of biodiversity and all, it is also mainly because of the human action. So to achieve this sustainable development locally, we of course need a collaboration with government organizations, non-governmental organizations, research and development institutions, private sector bodies, local communities, of course, collaboration with international organizations, all in terms of funding, etc. So there is an urgent attention required to promote sustainable practices among all of us, individuals, institutions, and at the global level. I do remember in some of the schools in Europe, they have a certain set of curriculum which is specifically to promote sustainable practices among students. Now they are integrating those such sustainable practices as part of the curriculum. So there are a lot of challenges connected to it. I am not going to those general things, but I would like to tell you a few technologies or practices adopted by Mitra Niketan as a non-governmental organization over these years to promote sustainability, to reduce carbon emission, to improve the livelihood of the people in the villages. Mitra Niketan as an NGO which has been started in the year 1956. Now we are in the 70th year, like Marthia Fellows Training College. So in the 1960s and 1970s, in the beginning, one of the technologies which we have promoted is fuel efficient stoves. Before this LPG and all, we depend on firewood for cooking. But do you remember that even today, 70% of the cooking takes place in India using firewood that emit a lot of carbon. And also the cooking, most of this conventional cooking emit a lot of carbon, but also the fuel efficiency is very, very low. So there are different technologies adopted or developed by different R&D institutions in India with fuel efficient stoves. In Kerala also we have promoted this Kerala Shastra's Sahitya Parishad model Aduppu, they used to call KSSP fuel efficient stoves. Then Energy Management Center also promoted community stoves. Then similarly, Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, they have promoted these household stoves as well as community stoves, Astra stoves. All these fuel efficient stoves has been promoted by Mitra Niketan in the villages in the 1970s and 1980s. See, the advantage of this efficient stove is that we are able to reduce the consumption or burning of fuel wood to about 20 to 30% or maximum of 35%. So there is reduction in the burning of firewood for cooking purposes. Still 70% of the people in India is using firewood for cooking, but in Kerala, most of the people are using LPG gases and all. So this is one of our first initiative in promoting this community stoves. And I remember some 5-10 years ago, I have linked with Indian Institute of Science, where they have very good community stoves, which I have introduced a few models in some of the hotels in Trivandrum, in Vellanad, in Kuttichal villages and all, where they are using more than 100 kilograms of firewood every day. That has been reduced to 35% to 50%. That itself is a big saving. So similarly, community stoves is also used in our kitchen, in community kitchens in Mitra Niketan. So I wanted to just mention to you this as one of the technologies which we have promoted. The second initiative we have promoted over the years is biogas plants. You know about biogas plants, which is used for cooking by converting the organic waste into methane gas. So the advantage of this cooking is that there is no carbon emission, there is no need of firewood. We have promoted this among the dairy farmers mainly. So the advantage of it that if there is a biogas plant in a house with a 5-member family, especially in a dairy farm, there is plenty of cow dung as a resource, input resource available, and it produces sufficient methane gas for the cooking for a family having 5 members. Even today, very recently also, we promoted in some of those dairy farms so that they have a 100% or 95% availability of methane gas for cooking. Of course, since they are middle class families, they also keep the LPG gas for very quick preparation of tea and all. Otherwise, they consume this biogas plant. In Mitra Niketan also, we have a community kitchen in the school canteen as well as the college canteen and all. We are using biogas plant using kitchen waste as a resources for producing methane gas. This will provide about 20 to 25% of the cooking fuel required for us. So recently some people in these areas, it's plenty of rubber plantation. They are also using rubber serum as a medium of resource for using or producing this methane gas. And of course, the slurry, the waste coming out of the biogas can be used as a fertilizer, organic fertilizer in our farms. So there are different models are available, and I do believe one of our target, I'm looking for some good projects, because if we are able to promote biogas in all those houses, farming houses having 2 or more cows, the use of firewood in those houses, including LPG, can be more or less 90% we can control. This is one of the projects we have to promote, especially with the challenge of climate change. The third one, not in relation to energy, but it is connected with energy, that is water harvesting. So we are one of the organization has done a lot of work in soil and water conservation. One of the technologies in water conservation we adopted is this rooftop rainwater harvesting. In our campus, in most of the buildings, we have installed a rainwater harvesting system, collecting roof water and filtering it and store it. And normally we use this rainwater for non-drinking purpose. Of course, it is good for drinking, but normally for washing and all other purposes, we use rainwater. And also in one of our new building, the underground of the building, we have constructed 2 tanks, so that the roof water can be stored in this underground tanks, and that can be used in low-lying areas, other buildings, especially in these bathrooms and all. So the part of the rainwater available is stored and being utilized. And one of the advantages is that we have our own water supply system. We normally depending on ponds as well as wells to pump the water for filtering and supply to the community, to the school, to the college, and to other staff quarters and all. However, during the rainy season, we normally don't pump, or we reduce the pumping and we save the electricity. That means the rainwater is collected, filtered and supplied, and that is a quality water. So there is a lot of work we have to do all over the world in harvesting the rainwater, because that does not have any impurities. And also another thing is that these rainwater harvesting, we can collect and use. In addition to that, we can use this rainwater for recharging the groundwater. Otherwise, it just flow away. there are plenty of wells now available in different houses in villages and all. It is not used. So what we do here in Mitraniketan is, and also around the villages, this roof water, excess roof water, after storing, this is connected to the unused wells so that the groundwater will be recharged. So groundwater recharge is also very important in terms of water. This is one of the activities which we are doing in relation to sustainability. And another one, fourth one, there are such a number of activities has been done in relation to this. But specifically, very recently, one of the technologies we have developed and promoted is solar dryer. You know, dryer is for drying different agriculture products and other materials required. And also we have a solar dryer is available in the market. It is a non-technology. We have developed a technology suitable for the Kerala climate because we have a moisture in the atmosphere. So the dryer we developed is mainly used for drying fruits, spices, tuber crops and other things. This we have started developing this technology because we promoted a few number of jackfruit processing centers through trained women at the self-help group level. So they are using different drying methods using firewood. So that consumes a lot of firewood, carbon emission, leading to carbon emission. In addition, some of them use this electric dryer that is so expensive, and power is also produced leading to a lot of carbon emission because they are using coal. So here, so for this production unit, we aimed at developing a dryer. So now that has become one of the successful technologies. It is called Mitra Solar Dryer. We are developing 3 models of 3 capacities, 1 cubic meter, 1 meter square and 2 meter square and 4 meter square capacity. So this we are selling all over Kerala among farmers and all. We are not using any solar panel in this one, only using this polycarbonate sheet. And this has been, when there is temperature, 30-degree temperature outside atmosphere, inside the cabin, it is about 55-degree centigrade. So this is a very useful technology for drying different agriculture produces, including coconut and all. And we have registered this technology with agriculture department, SMAM, so that those farmers who are buying this solar dryer, they will get about 50% of the subsidy. In addition to that, Mitraniketan, as part of sustainability and saving energy, we have installed a solar roof power plant at Mitraniketan, about 30 kW capacity, which is connected to the grid. That means the solar energy generated by Mitraniketan is supplied to the KSEB through the grid. And every month we are producing about an average of 3,000 units of energy. So this has reduced about our payment to the electricity board to 15,000 to 25,000, depends on the energy available. During the monsoon season, solar energy production is very less. But more than saving money, it is very important that we are using solar energy for producing energy and giving to the grid. In addition to that, a number of agriculture activities we have done in terms of reducing the use of fertilizers and reducing carbon emission, especially through our organic farming and natural farming activities promoted by Mitraniketan's Krishi Vigyan Kendra. And our campus is an agroforestry campus. And also Mitraniketan is one of the institutions which promoted low-cost housing. You know about Laurie Baker. His first house is constructed in Mitraniketan, and later they constructed all those buildings. We have about 30 big and small buildings in this campus. All those are developed using low-cost housing technologies. That means there is less energy required. We use very limited cement and other related material for such things. So there are many other activities also in terms of achieving sustainability. Considering all these activities, Mitraniketan has been awarded this consultancy status by the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations in 2023, We have consultancy status with the United Nations, and we associated some of their activities at different regional levels, attending conference in relation to sustainability. Of course, to conclude, sustainability is not simply an environmental agenda. It is, of course, connected to equity and shared prosperity, growth of the people, development of the people. Every individual, every institution, and every partnership has a role to play, not just the government or other responsible authorities. I do believe sustainability begins with the responsibility. Each of us, each individual and each institution, including education institution, has a responsibility to promote sustainable practices to achieve sustainability and growth through partnerships and success through collective action. So let us work together for people, planet, and prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghu Ramdas sir. Using it in a sustainable manner. Hello, Anup Sirevan sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence here. I would like to welcome you to our midst. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dear Dr. John, sir. I think I already talked about the importance of energy conservation for sustainable future. So, am I audible, right?
Perfect, sir. Perfect, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, actually energy conservation and energy efficiency, they are both part and parcel of each other. I will share a small presentation. Is the presentation visible?
Perfect, sir. You can give full screen command.
Okay. Okay. Now it is full screen.
Sir, can you move your mobile a little lower, please? Thank you, sir. Perfect, sir. Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. Carry on, sir.
Okay, now it's fine, right?
Perfect, sir. Perfect.
Okay. So I would like to stress on the importance of energy conservation in our home regarding this topic of sustainable life. What the other speakers have told, our aim is to minimize the impact of human action, which is affecting the current nature. So in the morning I have talked about the issue that we are currently facing right now. We are having a power shortage currently. So as a social man, we have a responsibility to help the state so that we can, in such a way that we can utilize the equipments that we are using in our daily lives in a more judicious manner. So in our home we have various equipments that we are using through electricity. So I already told you, we cannot without 1 second, 1 minute without electricity, that is, we cannot think about it. It is we are living in that kind of a world right now. So what we can do is we can impart certain traits in our behavior, certain traits in our life that can make the changes, so that as a state, as a country, we can go for that big push for this sustainable practices. So in the domestic energy conservation techniques, that I will be talking about right now, and regarding the same, you can please view the slides also. So what do you mean by energy conservation, and what is energy efficiency? So you already know about it. So using energy only when needed and only as much as required. So that is what it is meant by energy conservation. And energy efficiency means achieving the same output with less energy input. So that is the meaning of energy efficiency. So for example, like all things that we do is part of energy conservation or energy efficiency only. So how can we do energy conservation? I can give you an example. Like we are changing the redundant filament bulb in our house that was actually consuming about 40 watt or 35-40 watt of power. Now we can change it to LED bulb that is actually consuming only 9 watt of bulb. So almost 4 times we are when shifting from filament to LED, we are actually consuming less power. So that is actually a boon. So how can we define this thing, energy conservation and energy efficiency? That is what we will be talking about more in this topic. We can do energy conservation basically in two ways. One is through utilizing energy efficient equipments. So technological intervention. So every day there is new technologies coming. We now living in the artificial intelligence world right now. So we have the various chatbots, various utensils that is utilizing AI, that is mimicking our nature and working for us. So we are living in that kind of a world right now. So we know in the case of equipments also, on each day when a new day comes, new technology is being released in the market. So once it was using filament bulb, we were using filament bulb. Now we are using LED bulb. So this kind of technological intervention is being happening for the past years. So one way to do energy conservation is by taking into account the technological intervention. So energy efficient equipments that we have to utilize in our daily life. So tomorrow you are going to buy a fan for your home. Just think that scenario. So you are going to buy a fan in your new home. So like which fan you will be going to buy? That is a question. So currently we have the induction fan that is utilizing the old-fashioned technology. So that is consuming almost 60 watt or 80 watt of power. So that will be actually 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees cost. It will be having about 1,200 to 1,500 rupees. It will be having cost for buying a new fan, induction type fan. So our thinking process should change so that we can buy the latest energy efficient technology. That is the BLDC fan right now, brushless DC fan right now that is in the market, that is having more than 50% of energy savings. So if a regular fan has the power of 80 watt or 75 to 80 watt, then the BLDC fan will be consuming almost 30 watt. So we are getting more than 50% of energy savings. So if we are using CFL, we know the transition happened like the filament bulb, then the CFL, then the LED. So if there are homes that having filament bulb and CFL, I'm sure there will be homes that are still using CFL and LED filament bulbs. So how can we can make the technological transition happen LED, and we can change the CFL or the filament bulb to LED, which is having more than the brightness of the filament bulb, and we have consuming more than less 50% of energy it is consumed. The conventional fridge, we can change it to inverter fridge. So that is the one way of doing energy conservation activities. That is a technological intervention. The second one, how can we do it? That is what I need to discuss with you all. So mostly you will be in that teaching sector. So you, the teachers, you will be handling the students for the next generation or the next future. So they will be the persons that will be coming into the big position and taking big decisions for our state and country. So like the second one is the most important one for you as a teacher or an advisor, so who is doing the education, who is in the educational sector. So the second one is like to change the behavior of the people. So like first way is technological intervention. The second way is the change in the behavior of the people. So we can introduce these concepts to them, so they will get sensitized and they will impart these sustainable practices in their daily lives. One student, if you are teaching a student, this student can go and tell their parents, like tomorrow, if father acha നമുക്ക് പുതിയൊരു fan വാങ്ങുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് BLDC fan, like we can buy a new BLDC fan. If you are buying a fan, we can buy a new BLDC fan. So this father won't be knowing about this BLDC or induction or something like that. So this awareness creation, this behavioral change can impart a huge amount of savings to our energy sector. So which will aid the sustainable practices for the state. So I just briefing once again. So we can do energy conservation in two ways. One is the technological intervention, and second one is the behavioral changes in people. So the second one is the most important for you as an educator. That is the most important one. Also, there is a big difference between these two ways of doing energy conservation activities. So in the first one, the technological intervention, there is a upfront cost. So if you are buying an LED bulb to replace a filament bulb, automatically you have to pay 100 rupees to the shop where you are buying it. So that is an upfront cost is there. So how can we get this cost? How can we get it back? So there will be some savings in the electricity bill. Obviously, there will be savings, and the savings will provide the return. We can say in business we invest 1 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees, and we will be calculating a return of investment, right? So similar to that, we are investing an energy efficient equipment in our household, so that we will get a return. So how we will be getting a return? It will be that return will be in the form of electricity bill. So that is the peculiarity of the technological intervention. And for the second part, that is the behavioral change. There is no single paisa. That is, we have no single paisa is being spent for that. Only we are giving awareness. We are changing the behavioral pattern of the people. When we go out of the room, it is the duty of the people who's inside the room to switch off the fan and light. So when we are using AC, air conditioner is now becoming a common appliance in every household right now. I'm not telling that every household has an AC right now, but it is actually becoming a common equipment right now. So when we are using AC, so what kind of a behavior that we are what behavior we are using the air conditioner right now? So yeah, because air conditioner and all are utilizing huge amount of power. So that is the two ways in which we can impart energy conservation in our daily life. So in the state of Kerala, so this is a depiction of the way in which the state of Kerala is currently going on right now. So usually when I ask question, like, sir, where are we getting the power? We know our house KCB provides us with the electricity. They are the distribution company. So they are actually the generation company. They are the transmission company. It's a bundled company right now, KCPL. You can call it a bundled company. So KCB is generating it, it is transmitting it, and it is also distributing to our home. So I am curious if anybody can say, without looking into this slide, just let me know, like how do we get this power? Anybody?
Sir, repeat the question once again, sir, please.
I just want to know, we are getting the power from KCB. So just want to know, from where does this power we are getting from?
Water resources, mainly.
Natural resources.
Hydroelectric power.
Sir, that is a misassumption of almost all the people in our state. To be frank, I am not telling it is a problem, but it is a misassumption. We have to understand that only less than 30% of our power demands are being done within the state of Kerala. So within the state of Kerala, the power demand that is being met is less than 30% only. If we, for example, you can say if 100 units is being utilized in Kerala as a home, we can say Kerala as a house. If 100 units of electricity is being used by the house named Kerala, only 30 units is being generated within the house of Kerala only. So if you have a solar plant, only so 30 units being generated there. 70 units we will be getting from a house called Tamil Nadu or a house called Madhya Pradesh or a house called Odisha. So we getting 70% of the power from another state that is that might be in Madhya Pradesh or Odisha or Maharashtra or Gujarat. So we are getting power from that. Only 30% of the power that we are using only inside the state of Kerala. So inside the state of Kerala, hydropower is the major chunk. That is sure. That I'm sure. So when tomorrow somebody asks you questions or where are we getting this power from, you should say with confidence that we are only getting the power almost 30%, not even 30%, less than 30% of the power has been produced within our state, and more than 70% of the power has been we buy it from another states or within another power plants from other states. So mainly the chunk you can see from this. I think you can see the presentation, and you can see that the thermal is the main chunk where we are getting the power from. And now we have also solar has been massively been implemented, but there is issue in solar because we get the solar power only in the daytime only. And hydros are there, but hydros are there, but the new hydro projects are coming in very lean manner only because of various issues, various geographical problems, and etc. The new hydro power stations are coming are very few only because of this forest clearance, various clearance issues, and because our Kerala 33% of the land is forest land. So most of the hydro sites are within this forest or near to the forest and all. So it is very difficult to get the clearances for the developer, whether it will be KCB or any private developer. It will be difficult for them. So that is an issue. So we are currently implementing lots of solar power generation right now. We are one of the fastest growing in that sector in solar PV. But the issue is solar, it is only in the daytime, but the major consumption for us is in the night time. So that is an issue. So this is also a small token regarding the domestic sector. You can see that in Kerala, in India, we can see the orange pattern where the domestic sector is only 24% of consumption. If you are for example, if you are consuming 100 units, in India 24 units been consumed in the domestic sector. So, but in the state of Kerala, you can see it is one peculiar. It is unique. Kerala is unique in every way. Whether it is in Human Development Index, everything we are actually having a peculiar nature. We are actually in the forefront, and in the energy usage also we have a peculiarity. So, if we are using 100 units of electricity, consuming 100 units, it's 51 units been consumed within our homes. So that is the importance of this domestic energy conservation. So, like in other states, if you go to Tamil Nadu or in other states of India, it's only very less, 24%. In other states and all, the industry sector, this industry sector is having the most energy consumption. Here, Kerala, it's not that. Household consumes the most power. So that is twice the India's average. That makes home energy consumption critically impactful in the state of Kerala. So you know this tariff and all. So like I am not going into that. So I told you about the energy efficient way, using technological intervention. So in order to mobilize that, the government of India has come up with through the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, which is the nodal agency for energy conservation activities in the country. So they have launched a scheme called the B Star labeling scheme. So what is B Star labeling? So you know that in various equipments you can see the star labels, right? 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, and also this has been done by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency for a common man. So I am telling on we might know the people more the big percentage, more than 95-99% of the people, they are not technically savvy, so they don't know about the what energy efficiency, or what is the importance of energy efficiency, or how much energy it will be consuming. So these kind of thing they are not bothered about, they don't know about it. So the government has come up with a simple manner to understand the common man, the consumer, that there is a scheme called star labeling. So product that is having a 5-star label, which will be more energy efficient. So this is for the common public to understand in a very simple manner. So this kind of B star label scheme is currently available. So there is mandatory appliances are there, the voluntary appliances are there. So this is actually not updated. So you can go B star label, you can Google B star label, and we can get the latest appliances in the list, mandatory and voluntary. So once the appliances are introduced in the star label, it will be in the voluntary. Voluntary means it is not mandatory to have the star labeling. Mandatory means if an equipment that is to be in the market, it used to be sold, it should be having a star labels. For example, in the case of room air conditioner, that is we are using split air conditioner in our home, it is actually a mandatory appliance. So if that appliance has to be purchased or have to be in the market for purchase related thing, it should be having a star labeling. That is a mandatory thing. So these kind of schemes are being rolled out by the government of India, and the government of Kerala through Energy Management Center has been promoting these schemes. And also we are also listening with the people in the market for this rollout of the schemes in a better manner. There are various ways we can do the energy conservation activities. So in the case of, we can divide the household into various sectors. The domestic lighting is there. In the lighting, we can do various. We can do. I told you two ways: the technological intervention as well as the best behavioral changes. So best in the behavior change, we can use natural light colored interior paints, the layout of the light that has been used sufficient or it is overused, extravagant. Clean the fittings, use LED panel lights instead of the old version of the lights CFL or incandescent. Replace the 15-watt bulbs with 0.5 LED bulbs. So we can see that so many household, we can see the 0-watt bulb concept is there, but actually it is not actually 0-watt. It will be having some wattage of 15 or 10. We can replace it with 0.5-watt LED bulb, and so we can utilize in the case of institutions like your institution. We can in the case of washroom or in the courtyard, all means in the in the common areas, we can utilize the use of sensors. This passive infrared sensors we can utilize, so that human intervention can be negated. And if there is people there, the movement is there, automatically the switch will be getting on. And if there is no movement for some time, for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, we can set the timing, and automatically that light will be sent off. This kind of sensors you can utilize. And this is a case study that you are given here. Now all this LED CFL has been replaced by LED bulb. So the power consumption is 14 watts, LED bulb 7 watts. So the annual cost savings becomes rupees 105 per year. So we can save almost 20 watts, 20 units of electricity savings, and almost 105 rupees per year in the electricity bill. So that is what it is showing in this table here. And if you are changing 5 bulbs, so we can save almost 102 units of electricity in a year, and also rupees 525 rupees so in a year through the electricity bill. and we can calculate the payback period is like almost 1 year. So just divide 525 divided by 105, we can give almost 1 year. So by replacing 5 CFL with 5 LED bulbs, we will be spending almost 500 rupees, so that we can get that payback within 1 year by in the electricity bill. So there is a carbon offset also happening. So like when we are consuming less electricity, since the major electricity chunk I already told you is from here. You can see that the major electrical chunk is actually from thermal power plants. So there is carbon emission happening on each unit of electricity that is being consumed. So for 1 unit, 80.7 kilogram of carbon dioxide is been 83 here. 83 kilogram of carbon dioxide for 1 unit is been is being given out to the atmosphere. So like we are offsetting this through changing the bulbs. 102 units of has been saved. So almost we can save almost 83 kilogram of carbon dioxide for this one scenario. So ceiling fans, we can there are regular ceiling fans. We can go for BLDC fan. We can go for AC air conditioner. We can go for 5-star inverter air conditioner. And for a 5-star inverter air conditioner, we can have like we can set the thermostat to 24 to 25. When we are switching on the air conditioner, we can change the thermostat to 24 to 25 degrees Celsius as per the BE mandated default of 24. So actually the human body just need only 25 degrees Celsius or 26 degrees Celsius. We don't need to set the thermostat to 18 degree or 16 degree or 17 degree. It is actually harmful for our human body. So tomorrow onwards, when we are using switching on the air conditioner, you please set the thermostat to 24 degree or 25 degree or 26 degree. So this will be good. So this kind of behavioral change we should impact in the people's mind. Also cleaning of the filters, keep the outdoor unit in shade. So remove this heat vending equipments like incandescent bulb or some kind of heat emitting equipments will be there now, so that you can remove from the air conditioned room. So that is a good thing in the case of air conditioner use and all. So there is a refrigerator also. We can go for 5-star rated refrigerator. We can use inverter technology. That is the latest technology. Star labeling, 5-star labeled air conditioner is available. We can set the temperature at a suitable 3 to 5 degrees Celsius. Freezer temperature also we can change and do it accordingly. So the reduce the number of openings. So behavioral change, we can reduce the number of openings in the refrigerator. So to organize the contents that has been put inside the refrigerator. Also in the case of washing machine, we can make the utilize for this 5-star rated washing machine. Front load is actually more energy efficient than top load machines. So you can make use of the front load machines more. And we can in the case of behavioral thing, we can wash at full load capacity, not in part load. So whether we are just wasting the energy, we can fully load the machine and utilize the equipment for its use. And use natural drying. There are washing machines with almost all functions available, whether to dry, to rinse, everything is available right now. So but we don't actually need the dry, so it is actually consuming more power. So we may not use the dry function, or we may not consider the dry function in the washing machine. So these kind of things we can also make changes in the behavior. So also one more important point to understand is about the peak hours. So you know about the peak time. So I already told you. So solar is actually, we are generating electricity in the solar through solar system in the morning, from morning 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. from onwards. We are generating till 5:36 p.m. till the sun goes down. So like after that only, but the thing is that after that only we are making the consumption is happening mainly because everybody will be coming to home after their work. They will be within our house. They will be putting all the lights, fans. They will be doing cooking. They will be utilizing the fridge more, air conditioner. We will be using fan, TV. Every equipment will be mostly utilized within this evening time. So the peak time is mostly 6 p.m. to 10:30 11 p.m. So during huge summer time, due to the use of this number of ACs that has been utilized in as a common thing in our home right now, the peak has been shifted from 6 p.m. to early morning 1 a.m. 2 a.m. So this peak has been shifted right now during this summer season. So what we can do is like there are certain equipments, for example this motor that equipments that is having a motor, or those equipments that is using a heat coil. So these kind of equipment, for example pump, in most of our houses there will be pump for pumping the water from your lower tank or upper tank, or from the water authority connection, water from the water authority to the tank, or from the well to the tank. So these kind of pumps are there. So that is one equipment. So in the case of heating, iron box is there. So these kind of equipments we can currently kindly not use within this peak hours. So that is one of the major thing we can do as a behavioral point of view, because so this is make more stress to the grid of the KCB. So KCB is actually buying costly power in the peak time and giving us in subsidy mode. So for example, if you are going to a shop and you want some pen, there are 50 people from your institution, but at the shop there are only 10 pens. So obviously the shopkeeper, the demand is more, so automatically he will increase the price. Similarly in the electricity sector also, during this peak time the demand is more and the supply is less. So what will happen is like actually we are getting the power on an average of rupees 5 to 6 rupees. So but the KCB might be buying this power at this time at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. They will be buying this power at the rate of rupees 10 per unit, and will be giving you in 6 rupees or 5 rupees. So there is a loss for the KCB and the state. So this is an issue that we are facing right now. So currently try to use the equipments, that high rated equipments like a pump, water pump, washing machine, like induction hob, then what heater, this kind of mixie grinder, and this kind of heavy machines in the house to shift the usage. We can tell this load shifting. In technical way, we can say this is a load shifting the load from this time to another time. So in the case of pumping, we can pump the water at a different time other than this 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. We can pump in the morning, like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. We can pump in this morning. So this kind of shifting of the load has to be done for as a behavioral change also. So in the Kerala, we are currently maximally utilizing the solar rooftop as well. So we are actually maximally using the PM Surya Ghar subsidy also. 78,000 rupees we are getting a subsidy for the system, for implementing the system and all. So in also in home we have the in kitchen where the another big energy consumption is happening, and there also we are the main energy is coming from LPG only, and LPG also we can make use of the efficient way of cooking, and we can utilize the use of this flat bottom utensils, like lower thermal cookers, means normal pressure cookers we can utilize. So these cookers and all, that is actually saving energy right now, saving energy. And we can use induction hob also during the daytime. During the daytime, where is the power is cheap, we are getting solar at that time, so we can use induction hob at the cheap. During the daytime, you can utilize the induction cooktops. Solar cookers are available, and we can behave. The behavioral changes are there. Close the lid and cook. Flat bottom utensils to be utilized. LPG flame, the color of the LPG flame, it will be a blue flame or yellow flame. So there might be some issues. There is a yellow flame. So these kind of things we have to bother while in the kitchen during this energy usage. And so everybody using these kind of things, you know about this. And but in the computer also we can make the changes. Desktop, it is when it is actively using, it might be consuming almost 60 watts. So in the sleep mode, you can see sleep mode, it is actually consuming 2 watts only. So these kind of drastic changes there. So if you not put the setting sleep mode on, actually the consumption will be high. So if you are putting it in sleep mode, once after 10 minutes or 15 minutes the time, automatically it will go to the sleep mode and the consumption will go down from 60 watts to 2 watts. So these kind of things we can set up in our daily laptop or systems that we are using right now. And also in case of vehicles also, we can do various behavioral manners we can come across, so that we can make sustainable practices happen. So like no idling, we can like no idling over 30 seconds. Like whether if you are idling, like we are not moving the car, but the engine is on. So this is called idling. So if it is over 30 seconds, you switch off the car. So that is the concept. So tire pressure, the economic speed, to use the car economic speed way. Um, avoid aggressive acceleration, harsh braking, correct engine oil grade, service the filters, promote carpooling, public transport. So if you are going from a similar some same place to the campus, so you can utilize the carpooling or public transport system. Also, currently the Kerala is actually pushing for the EV adoption. So we in Kerala is actually a very good market. We are actually in the forefront of EV adoption right now. And also we can make utilize of the EV and promote EV and do charge in the day hours, means in the evening hours also. That is giving us stress. Currently KCB is having a problem with this EV also during this peak charging, peak time charging of the electric vehicle. And we can do low shift the charging to other time other than the peak time. So that also we can make utilize by considering EV. So these are the main things that I have to tell about. This almost 3-5 and more than 30 minutes I have taken. So thank you, Dr. Joji John sir, and and from your institute for giving me an opportunity to talk about it. So any questions, I am happy to answer.
Hello friends, would you like to ask something or add something? Or you can give your query in the chat as well, or your points to add. Thank you, Anup sir, for that brilliant talk. I hope my audio, video, everything is fine.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anup sir, for your collaboration with us, first of all, and for joining promptly and for keeping the time. And you have talked for sharp 30 minutes. And the ideas that you have shared were very useful to us. Thank you very much for your time. And we are really happy that we could collaborate with Energy Development Center, Government of Kerala, for organizing this program. And it's being recorded, and the video will also be shared to all the student teachers, teacher educators, and the people who are interested in sustaining our planet and people who are interested in new forms of non-conventional energy. We are indebted to Energy Management Center and the excellent presentation. Looking forward to having more of your sessions, sir. And we
Thank you,
talked
sir.
about the session that you had taken for us in the Energy Management Center. When all of us visited there. Thank you very much, sir. Brilliant
Thank you,
session.
sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Hi, friends. We have a unique person to address us today. None other than Shankar sir, the pride of Kerala, who developed an alternative model of architecture in Kerala. And Shankar sir, thank you very much for building my own house also. And Shankar sir built my house, and I planned for a 2,400 square feet house. When I visited him, he wanted me and my wife and my eldest girl to have half an hour with him. He gave us a very nice orientation, and finally we constructed a home with 1,600 square feet only. Thank you, sir, remembering those beautiful days. Your intervention helped me, because if I thought of 2,400 in addition to sustainability, everything, I would have gone bankrupt also. And dear friends, yes, given tremendous contribution to Marthapuram Training College as well, developing alternative models of construction in Kerala, Lattur, and he was contributed to Manorama in constructing houses for the people who lost their homes in the earthquake, and in the different parts of the world he has been contributing. The government of India bestowed him with highest the recognitions for his contribution to the society. Legendary architect, and all the houses constructed by, all the architectural works constructed by Habitat has got a special signature of its own, using the natural resources, maintaining the natural terrain, and building with everything in a cost effective, sustainable manner, using the resources available to the people who are living beside. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence. And today he would be enlightening us on the saving energy saving programs for housing the architectural areas. That's the topic for the day. Warm welcome to you, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the glorious words of introduction. Having said that, let me tell you something else. Today I'm not really going to talk about energy efficiency in buildings. Instead, I thought I will talk about, since the crowd, the participants come from completely different domains. Me being an architect and make a technical presentation on energy efficiency can probably become a boring exercise to you. The whole, the take back from this conference should be, this is a sustainability summit. Sustainability summit means there should be some take backs. The world is going through difficult times. At the end of the session, although this is an academic session, you should have messages very deeply ingrained into your mind. So today, I thought I will talk about, of course, energy is there as a part of it. Today I'm going to talk about life in the times of polycrisis. You have heard of Love in the Times of Cholera, written by the legend. But today, I thought I will talk about life in the time of polycrisis. Polycrisis actually is an agglomeration of crises, several crises together. We have wars on one side, we have conflicts on the other side, we have water scarcity on one side, we have poverty on the other side. There are resource, in terms of resource availability, there are a lot of problems. Climate emergencies around, disasters are happening the world over in the times of climate crisis. So we are in the midst of polycrisis, and that is why we are increasingly talking about sustainability, because we believe that sustainability is the only way out. And when you really look at it, Um, see, if we have to survive, we have to, there's no other way. It's very mandatory that we adopt eco-sensitive, energy efficient, cost efficient, resource efficient, resilient strategies to face this crisis. How do you do that? Let's try to understand this whole situation before we go into action plans. So, I mean, the world over, why I told you about the poly-crisis. Poly-crisis actually happens because of one reason. One reason, let me tell you that. Everybody wants resources, and Earth doesn't have much to give you. I mean, there were limited quantity, finite quantity of materials and technologies, and if you start looting them, it's calamity, it's death for us, death for the planet. So that is why it's very important that we look at it in a very sustainable way, looking at the resource availability, how to make it more optimal, how to make it more efficient, and things like that. So we'll go through that journey. My time is very limited. We'll just go through that journey, and world over, I'm telling you, I'm just reading a book named Life in the Times of Polycrisis. There, the world over, I'm trying to turn it, they talk about a country called Congo, which is actually playing World Cup now. They have qualified in knockout. In Congo, between 1920 and 1950, 30 years, 10 million natives were killed. Why? Congo is a land of minerals and metals and huge resources. And the people who were ruling Congo at that particular time, imperial powers, they wanted to take it out. They resisted. Local people resisted. What they did is they killed them. 10 million people were killed. The world over, it's happening. Now you know the conflict that's happening now. All in the name of resources. Everybody wants to get hold of the resources, and the sustainability is being compromised. You can take the resources. We need the resources. We need the resources to build up our environment, to build up our buildings. We need that. We need the resources. But optimal use of resources is very critical. If we don't use it that way, the world is going to face a huge crisis. And that is why I named this presentation as Life in the Time of Polycrisis. Now, we have to, this particular word of circular economy is something that you need to keep it in your mind. All the listeners, kindly look at this new word that's actually circulating. This is the word that talks about it's an economic system. Obviously, the world is talking only about economic system. They're not talking about social system. They're not talking about social interventions. Instead, they're talking only about economic system. So the world is coming together and talking about the circular economy. But unfortunately, the world over is being dismissed as a waste management strategy. Much beyond that, my dear friends. It's much beyond much beyond waste management strategies. It's a comprehensive model that actually offers a very robust, very proactive economic model that probably will sustain the world. So let's capture this particular sentence that circular economy talks about. I mean, we always talk about recycling, regenerating, reusing, so many hours together, but it's much beyond that. I will come to that later. Yeah. We have to talk about resilience. Resilience in every domain of knowledge. We have to talk about resilience. Resilience is important because we have to, I mean, during COVID times, we learned lot of ways to combat that. One of the major ways by which we could combat that particular disease was to look at resilience. How do you build up resilience? The world is going through crisis, but can you just stare at it and, just wish it away? You cannot do that. Instead, we have to be resilient in every domain of knowledge. Let me come back to my own domain, architecture. Come back to the domain of building. How do you actually build up resilience in in building. You look at, I always say, Jojo sir knows about it. Small buildings are actually more beautiful. More beautiful because it talks about a vocabulary language of resource efficiency. Now, during the disasters, during these emergencies, buildings do fall down. You saw the pictures in Venezuela, the big earthquake that happened a few days back. Lots of buildings actually fell down. Disasters, we always say this, disasters don't kill people, but buildings do. And the buildings are down, lots of deaths have happened. Now we are trying to look at rebuilding. So before the disaster happened, now there's a term which is going around, disaster mitigation. We have to be prepared for the disaster. We have got a huge hazard map for the entire country, which actually marks the hazard zones. Kerala, for instance, from Kasaragod to Parshala, we are in a very vulnerable state. So every building that is built in the state, every building that is built in these vulnerable zones will have to look at resilience. How do you enhance resilience? By looking at durability, looking at strength, looking at how do you harness the energies of engineering, proper engineering into building something which can sustain. Let me tell you a very, very small example of how do we do it. How do we do it? We actually think about a situation where we are building a house on a seaside. One of the critical elements of durability and strength on a seaside building is the wind load that actually comes from the sea. The winds actually carry so much of force. They lash against the building and it can make buildings collapse. So how do you design for buildings that we are building on a seaside? What we do is we take the shorter side. See, if it's a long building, we don't build longer side along the beach. Instead, we build with a shorter side facing the sea and the longer side in the other side, which means we have an aerodynamic model. As simple as that. As simple and as sensible as that. So doing that kind of thing, we can actually build resilient buildings. And resilient buildings is one thing. Retrofitting is another thing. Retrofitting is a word that the world is not using, unfortunately. Retrofitting is that a building sustains some damages. I mean, an efficient engineer or an architect can come back to the building and repair it to make it as strong and durable as possible. By doing that, we are addressing a huge issue of resource efficiency. All these things we are talking about all these things because one reason, the resource base of this Mother Earth is getting depleted. If we don't use this in an optimal scale, the world is going to be robbed of all these things. The scarcity of water. In a water-rich state called Kerala, we have only 44 rivers, and all the 44 rivers are dying, are on a certain deathbed. And as architects and engineers, I belong to that. Unfortunately, I belong to that fraternity. We are primarily responsible for the climate change. Why I am telling you? Because we are using in India, in a country like India, we are using 5 billion liters of potable water. Look at it. 5 billion liters of potable water. Potable water. Water everywhere, but not a drop is the situation now. But we are using 5 billion liters of potable water. Why? To flush out the dirt from our toilet. So we have to look at resilience. We have to look at retrofitting. We have to look at resource efficiency. We have to look at where to preserve all those precious assets. Having said that, climate action is, it's already a reality. Earlier, when we started talking about 30 years back, my dear friends, 3 decades back, when we activists, we started talking about climate change, everybody in bureaucracy laughed it out, saying that it's a myth. Now, my son, who actually lives in England, he tells me that he takes off his shirt because he can't wear a shirt. They don't have fans in the houses. The temperature has gone up to 39 degrees today. Today, the temperature in England, in London, is 39 degrees centigrade. They don't have air conditioners because it's cold country. They don't have air conditioners. All they have in their houses is a heater. Sealed windows, no air conditioner, only heater. And you can't switch off heat in such a thing. They're just running out. They're running out of the houses. They don't even have fans. 39 degrees in a temperate zone is something which is calamity. So climate change is happening everywhere. We know, my lifetime, I think I went through the harshest summer last year. And this is one of the things that actually affects sustainability in a big way. We have very efficient, energy efficient methods to combat that through buildings, through buildings. Because, just for your information, let me tell you that 38% of the total energy consumption goes in the construction sector, goes in the pre-construction sector and the post-construction sector. Look at the percentage, 38%. That's a staggering percentage. And we are not looking at we look at cost efficiency, we look at all the other things, we look at the beauty, we look at the aesthetic appeal, but we are not looking at energy efficiency. And that is why, as a practitioner of sustainable architecture, I have actually, in my buildings, I use minimal amount of steel and cement. For one reason, both these materials, during they eat up a lot of energy. They very highly energy intensive manufacturing process for both steel and cement. So I'm trying to wean away from that and looking at local solutions for that. Yes, bamboo, lime, etc., etc. Kerala, this is something that I should tell you. Kerala has the richest depository of building materials probably in the world. I'm telling you, Kerala has the richest. I make a very brutal statement, but I know that it's true. Kerala is the richest depository of building materials probably in the world, definitely in the country. For instance, let me tell you that we have the richest lime deposit in the world. In bed of Vembrand Lake, we have 15 feet of lime deposit, which can be easily used if you mainstream it. That's what we used to do earlier, 50 years back. Lime was a mainstream building material, but we have just gone away from that. Just for your information, people who don't have engineering background in this crowd, let me tell you this. Cement and lime are actually basically made from the same material. Chemically, they're slightly altered when you make it into cement, is slightly altered. The basic structure, chemical structure is the same. Both are shells. Both actual resource, the base resource is lime and this thing. But when it gets branded as lime, we don't take it because we think that it's a low-cost material. It doesn't have the engineering properties that you need for strength and things like that. And that is why we are weaned away from that. My dear friends, we want to look at sustainability in a very comprehensive way, especially in my domain. We have to look at energy efficient practices. I was telling my son today that we have magical solutions for that. What is the magical solution? I don't know whether you are sitting in an air-conditioned room or not. I'm not able to see that. But if you are sitting in an air-conditioned room, let me warn you something. It's very important. And we are going through several virus infections going all over. And the place, if it's air-conditioned, where you're sitting, the indoor air quality is very highly compromised. When I say indoor air quality is compromised, I'm telling you one stark fact. This is 100% more polluted than atmospheric air. We think when we look at the atmosphere, we see the soot, we see dust particles, we see a lot of smoke dissipating into the atmospheric air, and we believe that. That is this thing out. No, air conditioning is contrived air quality. Contrived air quality means you'll have a lot of problems. I'm just limited to that because that's not really my subject. But what is the way out? The way out in especially people living in the tropical belt, you should have cross ventilation. If you have one window on one side facing the atmospheric air and a window on the other side, some opening on the other side, air will just flow through. That is what we need. If you have cross ventilation, you don't have to look at air conditioning. You don't look at mechanical devices to cool air. Air will go through, and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful living situation. And again, we are talking about circular economy and how does it impact sustainability. It actually talks about participation. It talks about partnerships. That's the beauty of it. It talks about livelihood issues. It talks about lifestyle changes and things like that. So the entire idea is to have an inclusive economic development also. What are the basic principles that we are talking about? We are talking about reducing environmental impact, looking at all these strategies, reuse, repair, recycle, etc., etc. This should be a mantra with us. This should be a mantra with us. Because it's a linear equation now. We use, we make, we use, and we dispose. It's a very linear path of looking at it. But can we bring all those materials back to our use? Is something that needs much more contemplation, much more thoughts. And we are trying to do a lot of things, using old materials in building construction. But it is only in building construction that we are intervening now as an architect, as a practitioner of sustainable architecture. But this particular thing has to go all over. Every pattern of consumption, it has to go over. It has to follow a circularity. It not linearity again. We cannot dispose it. Mother Earth have all this waste dumped on that. We have to look at circularity. Using that, can we recycle it and probably take it as another project, another product, etc., etc. is something that's the more contemplation. My limited time doesn't allow me to do that. Now, you should be asking this question to me. As an architect, what I'm going to do? Talk about circular economy, talking about sustainability, what I am trying to do as an architect. We actually, every time we talk about sustainability, we talk about ecological resilience. My dear friends, I worked across the world, especially in disaster situation, right from Haiti in Central America to our own little Kerala. We have worked across the world, in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Nepal, in Sri Lanka. There have been very major interventions in disaster mitigation. Ecological resilience is very, very important for a place like Kerala. I'm telling you, lots of strange geological things are happening. Even you may not have heard of one situation. I'm telling you, we continually talk about 2018 floods and 2019 floods. My dear friends, it was not landslide. I just limited my observation to that. It was not really landslide. We saw a whole mountain breaking down. How did the mountain break down? Even 2025, when the latest Churalmala disaster happened, we saw a mountain breaking down. How did it happen? Very, very dangerous situation. A dangerous phenomenon called soil piping is happening. It happens because of unsustainable construction activities and unsustainable agricultural activities. I don't want to go into this thing, but Kerala, we have to really, really look at ecological resilience. What I do as an architect is to look at organic architecture. Organic architecture, we actually see Earth as on Mother Earth. We architects believe that every bit of land has a soul. They have a life, they have a soul. If you actually develop that concept, you won't be able to manipulate, especially on the land profile. Kerala has got three distinct geographical zones. We have the mountains, we have the midlands, and we have the long coastal line. There was a time, when you look at vernacular vocabulary of design, there was a time when buildings built in high ranges, Idiki, upper reaches of Kotan, they all belong to that site. People living in Chaganacheri, Tiruvalla, Midland, they had another style of architecture. People living in coastal lines, who are Pundra, etc., they had another way of living. Our buildings always have the profile of the land. There's an American architect, Frank Lloyd Wright, who said, building should not be on a mountain. Building should be of a mountain. That actually contains the spirit of architecture. You don't have the mandate. We human beings don't have the mandate to manipulate on land. We cannot flatten our mountain. We cannot fill up our fields. We cannot do that. If you do that, it's calamity. 2018 floods, 2019 floods, and 2025 floods is bearing testimony to the ecological. Our fragility of the land is not being understood. And ecological, what do you say? Interferences in the domain by wounding our Mother Earth has caused these disasters. Disaster is just below our feet, and we have to be braced for that. And we believe that when you talk about circular economy, we believe that local is the mantra. When I say local materials, local capabilities, and local technologies. Where else in the world, my dear friends, we have such richness of materials, technologies, and human capabilities. Human capabilities. Earlier we used to build buildings with reverence. That culture is gone now. We have to come back to that culture. Work should be like worship. When you study, you should take it as an act of worship. That's what we believe in. And in terms of sustainability, we still believe that local is the mantra. It was our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who said, pertaining to the building activities, that 1920s he said, whatever materials with which we are going to build the houses should be sourced from a 5-kilometer radius. Mahatma Gandhi in 1920s, 106 years later, we are not even looking at local solutions in the domain of the buildings. It's a sad thing, but that's the truth. Now we have to build up this climatic disaster resilience, and I'll tell you very simple methods of doing that. If you have bamboo plantation, that's a huge answer to ozone depletion and carbon emission. These are two things, actually, when you really look at it, is the carbon emission and ozone depletion that actually cause a lot of disasters. And those things will have to be understood. And once that is being done, we can actually talk about resilience. We can talk about healthy partnerships. Yeah, go ahead. It's about how does circular economy work? It's about efficient design, protection. I told you about retrofitting, and I also talked about durability and other parameters of sustainability. It actually, when you go back from this session, I wish you spend time on this, because first of all, we talk about sustaining this Mother Earth. You have to have not only passion, you have to have compassion and your knowledge about the local materials and technologies and ways to ensure energy efficiency. We have such bright sun around. We are not really looking at it's coming. Government of India, Government of Kerala, Energy Management System Center, they are all trying to encourage energy efficient systems by looking at sun as the primary resource. It has to go much beyond that. It will go much beyond that. Actually, a very small example how a tribal family in Wayanad looks at it. He gets the water from the mountain. Using a small black tube, he brings the water down, puts it on a small turbine. I'm talking about a tribal family. Just that particular pipe, the water from that pipe falls on a fan. which actually generates electricity. Can you believe it? Just enough electricity to make 1 or 2 fans, 1 or 2 lights, and even a TV work. That is what is needed for a third world country like that. And go ahead. And it should also talk about recovery. It should also talk about recycling and this. Then it's time that we move away from fossil-based materials and energy. Oil crisis is there, and it's the whole cause of the war that is going on. And we have to regenerate natural systems. We are talking about sustainability. In the building sector, we are talking about cutting down trees and destroying the ecological balance. But we can have re-engineered wood. We can have plantation for that. For instance, bamboo plantation. It actually, the life of the bamboo is only for 13 years. We can regenerate that. We can cut it down and make it again, have a new plantation again. So regeneration is another important thing that should be a part of the whole vocabulary. The way forward is to have sustainable consumption. Sustainability should be a way of life. I'll just conclude this session because time is out now. Innovation and creativity are the only ways out. We have to look at clean technologies, we have to look at strategic interventions and collaboration, and always there's a mantra before us. That is Sustainability Development Goals framed by UN. I've been a member of the strategic committee that formed it, and it talks about sustainability in every domain. Life on earth, life below water. It talks about all domains of life. So if all your actions can align with Sustainability Development Goals, you'll have a huge future. Let us dream about creating a resilient and robust economic system, healthier ecosystem, and sustainability as a way of life. I actually weaned away from the subject I was given, but I thought, I looked at the crowd profile, the participant profile. I didn't want to talk about too technical things, because technical things can always lead you to confusions only. Some of it can be boring. More than everything, my dear friends, these are the passion and compassion for Mother Earth. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, sir. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Shankar sir, for that brilliant talk, touching all the important aspects of the doing something for our planet. And it was a heart-to-heart interaction, and you have motivated all of us to lead a better, balanced, and meaningful life. Maintaining the balance of this planet for human beings and the other beings as well. Thank you very much, sir, and for your precious time, for your brilliant ideas. And it was a heart-to-heart interaction, and you have highlighted all the important practical points, and you have enlightened us, and you have transferred a spirit of sustainability in us. As teachers, we'll try our best to mold our students in a fashion so that they will also cherish Mother Earth and commit themselves for the cause of this planet. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Sanila?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Now it's the time to invite Professor Dr. Joji John, sir, for a wonderful talk on sustainability and mental health. Joji John, sir, the principal of Matthew Phillips Training College, a life skill trainer, a mentor, and a very prominent, inspiring talk-giving person. We all know about him. Let me welcome, without wasting time, please, Joji John, sir.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Yeah, 1 second. Is my audio video fine?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Thank you, Sanla, for that brilliant introduction. Dear friends, And today's last session is my session, and I would like to speak something on nurturing the mind through sustainable development, sustainability, and mental health. I would like to connect these two concepts. Warm welcome. I'm really delighted that all of you have joined this international conclave. Many came offline. Many are participating online. And thank you very much for your precious time. Okay, dear friends, actually, nature is in fact part of all of us, and we are part of nature. And man is called the axis and arrowhead of evolution by Teilhard Chardin in his epoch-making book Phenomenon of Man. It is with man that the nature becomes self-reflective. And that's why ONV sang ഇനിയും മരിക്കാത്ത ഭൂമി നിന്റെ ആസന്ന മൃതിയിൽ നിനക്ക് ആത്മശാന്തി. ഇത് എന്റെയും നിന്റെയും ചരമദിനത്തിന് ഞാൻ ഇന്നേ കുറിച്ച് വെക്കുന്ന ചരമഗീതം. Actually, he is lamenting that the offsprings are killing mother nature. Okay, so it's time for us to think of our connection with nature. Okay, so warm welcome to my presentation. At the very outset, I would like to say that nature is our mother. Nature is our teacher. Nature is our nurse. Nature is our friend, philosopher, guide, and whatnot. Nature is everything. So, dear friends, we resonate with nature. So, once the environment is bad, we cannot do anything good. So, as we move to a hospital, dear friends, that smell of the medicine, the people, sad faces, what would we feel? We also become dejected. Am I correct? We become dejected. So as we travel through a slum, see the pathetic situations of the human beings there, the surroundings there, what do we feel? We feel very tragic. We do become dejected. You might be wondering, in the war times, a child was moving towards a packet of food and there was an eagle, and the photographer took a photo and he became depressed, and finally he committed suicide. So because the environment and the surroundings, nature, it really matters. Okay, so if you are studying in an education institution, how come Shanti Niketan is favorite for everyone? So in an environment where there are many plants, many trees, and shade of trees, canopy, children can go and sit down under the shade of the tree, eat their food, chat. Such an atmosphere. No wonder Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, as I reflect on my school and college days, I recall the moments where I spent outside the classroom chatting with my friends, loving them, interacting with them, and those are the moments that I cherish most. Surroundings, atmosphere, everything is important. Okay, so in my own life also, whenever I get an opportunity, I go to the places where there are plenty of trees and lakes, like our Valley Kyle. So I spend time there under the shade of the tree. It's really important. Most of you might have visited your campuses. Okay, so you might have studied in some of the campuses 10 years, 20 years back. You are coming back to the campus. Everybody laments, where are our trees? Where have they gone? What happened to our trees? Okay, I have felt this when my friends came back to Marivania's college. So good roads, plenty of trees, everything, but everybody was asking, where are our trees? Or many of the trees have gone, and all my colleagues were really upset about that. Hello?
Say it's visible and audible.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So it's really important. Nature is
Sir,
really.
excuse me, sir, is the PowerPoint, you are changing the PowerPoint? It is not changing.
No. I am
Okay.
just beginning. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So nature is really important. That's a thesis that I would like to bring to your notice at the very outset. Now, dear friends, sustainability and mental well-being from a single continuous loop. Ecological health is really resonating with psychological resilience. If a person is in a sound environment, that environment emanates into that person, and a person living in a sound environment resonate with the environment as well. There is a give and take. A sustainable society has to protect natural resources while simultaneously providing mental health, and the protection of the natural resources would contribute a lot for mental well-being, social inclusion, and economic security. So there are the societies where they wanted rapid industrialization, they cut down trees, and consequently people became rich but alienated from the roots. They have lost their roots. So it's really important that we maintain mental well-being. Healing the planet requires minds healthy enough to do the work. We need good mental well-being. We need environmentally responsible decisions and community engagement and participation. We need the participation of the community in the sustainable activities, and we need empathy for the future generations, and we should be worried about them. We should be worried about the future and their the mental well-being, and we need a very proactive conservation efforts. Usually people think that it's a responsibility of the government, it's a responsibility of the leaders. No, it's a responsibility of everyone. The other day I heard a story of a man who was planting a seedling, and a very old man, and somebody laughed at him and said, why are you doing this? Because it takes around 70 years for the plant to grow and give you fruits. Then he said, a plant named Kara, something like that. He said, now we have got plenty of same plants here, not planted by me. In my childhood days, I had plenty of plants here. I ate the fruit and I enjoyed the canopy and the shade. Now I have to do something for the future societies only. That was the reply of the old man. So, environmental degradation is a real cause of stress for the society, for the human beings. Environmental degradation, it's a real reason for stress. As climate changes, environmental degradation happens, urbanization and social inequalities accelerate, the structural integrity of the mind planet loop breaks down. Dear friends, actually I think we can very easily connect it in some of the Idiki districts and city villages and all those places. Almost none of the families had electric fan because the atmosphere was cool, sound, and they never thought of a fan. Now, nowadays, all of them are having fans in their homes. People who are residing near Munnar, Idiki, Pyramid, such places, they have bought fans. Now, just think of our situation in cities. In some of the months, it's very difficult to sleep at night. Climate has degraded to the maximum level that we have got scorching heat, and it would be very difficult for us to sleep. Children would find it difficult to sleep at night. People are moving up and down and turning their back because of scorching heat, and people are forced to take bath in the at midnight for having for buying some sleep. That's the situation. Now, we need to think of the problems that we are facing now with regard to the environmental degradation and ecological stress factors. There are many triggers. Climate is changing, natural disasters are contributing a lot, and actually many of the natural disasters are have human roots in it, human influences in it, human interventions are there behind many of the natural disasters. Just think of the landslides that are happening in Kerala because our irrational architecture. Shankar sir was speaking about maintaining the terrain, and the architectural styles of each district was different. He was mentioning that actually human beings changed that, and the way we got rid of our lakes. Actually, our Kerala was full of lakes. Every nook and corner we had small lakes, തോടുകൾ, കുളങ്ങൾ, etc. Small ponds. So all of the elderly people might be thinking about their childhood days where they would go and bathe in the ponds nearby. But what about our current scenario? Almost all of them are gone. Now, and rapid urbanization, people are moving towards the city and clustering in the city, and they are working hard to come to the city to buy the what unhealthy atmosphere and the bad air and pollution. Now, every household is having many many vehicles, multiple number of cars and multiple number of the two-wheelers. Everyone is having one each now. And now, and so just think of our nearby state, Tamil Nadu. You see people riding bicycle a lot, and almost all their two-wheelers are energy efficient two-wheelers. Some of the small scooters which would run up to 110 kilometers per liter. But in Kerala we are having Enfield, Royal Enfield only. Now rapid pollution is another important cause. And what are the psychological impacts? Climate change leads to eco anxiety, chronic worry, sleep disturbances, feeling of helplessness, reduced motivation to do things. So, if you are in a cozy environment, you do something meaningful. We have a poet at Martha's Training College. His name is Karthik, and I was interacting with him. He told me that I need calm, peaceful atmosphere to write something. Now, natural disasters are leading to post-traumatic stress disorders, depression, grief, loss, displacement-related stress, etc. Many people are working hard 20, 30, 40 years for constructing a house, and a small landslide, the house is no more. Floods, then 2018 floods, you might be wondering how many houses disappeared because of the floods, because the water cycles have been blocked by human interventions. Now, urbanization also leads to social isolation. നന്മയും ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ നന്മയുടെ ആ ഒരു നറുമണം, sings the poet. ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ നന്മയുടെ നറുമണം. The poet sings like that. In the villages there is the fragrance of goodness, but in cities, so we don't know our neighbors. Our even closely knitted families are a conglomeration of isolated people, never interacting each other, one another. And pollution is leading to increased stress hormones, cognitive decline, reduced emotional well-being. So dear friends, nature actively rewires and repairs human nervous system. You go and spend some time in Ponmudi, Wagaman, spend some days there, you get rejuvenated. So your vitality comes back. Your natural resistance goes up. Go for trekking, live, spend time in parks, spend time in forests, gardens and natural landscapes, naturally your vitality comes back, your natural resistance shoots up, and you will be having better creativity and better emotional stability. So biological mechanics of green spaces. So when we are in a green environment, so there is active increased cognitive function, increased better limbic system, rapidly reduces anxiety, improves emotional regulation, production of positive hormones, endocrine system lowers cortisol, stress hormones, and neurological state promotes mindfulness and emotional stability. These are the outputs. So dear friends, now we need to change our habits. We need to walk, we need to cycle a lot, we need to eat nutritious food, and we need to reduce waste, and we need to volunteer for the society. One of our students, Abhirami, inspired the students of and research scholars, teachers, staff, Marketplace Training College to go for bird watching. We went for bird watching 3-4 times, and a student volunteered and led that. That is the wonder. And she took all the students of Marketplace Training College to Shangamugam Beach to clean the beach. And dear friends, we need to conserve energy as well. We need, so our Anup sir was telling about the not switching on the motors from 6 to 10. We need to learn such lessons. We need to pump water early in the morning. We need to conserve energy, and we need to spend time outdoors. We need to keep the windows and doors open so that free fresh air would creep into our houses. The former Chief Minister of Jayalalitha passed away abruptly, and there was a hypothesis about the excessive use of air conditioners by her. Okay, because continuous use of air conditioners and the artificial climatic changes using machines would affect us. And the age of AI needs a lot of water, and the next war would be for a war for water. Experts are predicting that, and for AI and other AI related infrastructure, we need a lot of energy and water. Actually, when we maintain ecological balance, there is better physical health, improved self-esteem, greater happiness, and increased life satisfaction. So, dear friends, let's work hard for that. The schools, community, and the government should work hand in hand for this. Each individual can do a little bit, have a garden of your own. Now, have plenty of plants in your surroundings. Our ശങ്കർ സാർ once said, പാഴ് ചെടികളില്ല, പാഴ് കുട്ടികളില്ലാത്തതുപോലെ, പാഴ് ചെടികളില്ല, പാഴ് കുട്ടികളില്ലാത്തതുപോലെ, ചൊറുതണം, a plant people hate. Chordanam is a plant people hate. We don't know whether the chordanam is having the vital medical elements for AIDS or cancer or something. We are yet to explore that. Because nothing is a waste. Nothing that comes from the nature is a waste. Everything is useful. Nature never produces waste. Nature produces useful things only. We are yet to explore the riches of the hidden elements of nature. The schools have to select a plot, a place, a plant where there are plenty of trees, and there should be opportunity for the students to go and sit under the trees, and the trees because schools should be nature friendly. The community have to come together, join hands for this cause. The government has the biggest responsibility to coordinate such activities where we conserve nature. together, individuals, schools, community, and government together, we are going to do something great. We are going to reach Sustainable Development Goal 3, good health and well-being. Sustainable Development Goal 4, quality education. SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. SDG 13, climate action. SDG 15, life on land. That is our mission. Eco anxiety among adolescents need to be reduced. Sustainable workplaces and employee mental health we need to maintain. We need to have indigenous ecological knowledge and mental health equity. Now, it's really important. We need to develop ecological balance, mental health through environmental sustainability. Resilient minds create sustainable societies, and resilient minds are created by sustainable environment. So, dear friends, let me conclude my words. Let us work hand in hand for the cause of Mother Nature. Just as ONV Kurup sang, Ini Marikatha Bhumi, the Nasana Murdil Katma Shanti. Let us take a pledge that we will work hard for the betterment of the society. Let us take that as the mission and transfer that mission to our family members, student society, so that our children would not fall down unconscious due to sunburn as they go to school. Now think of our national capital, Delhi. Gradually it is becoming a place which is not suitable for human beings. So Kerala, every city has this danger, unless we maintain the balance of the environment, the earth would become uninhabitable. So let's take up this challenge, this prophetic role of helping our mother, the earth, to maintain her balance. Thank you. I would like to thank all of you who have joined this interaction. If there are any queries or additions, you are welcome. Thank you.